Now we are.
It is now 4 o'clock. We will call the August 12th, 2026 Board of Property and Maintenance Appeals meeting to order. Mr. Sherman, would you please call the roll?
Mr. Platt.
Here.
Mr. Christopher.
Here.
Mr. Lozier.
Here.
Mr. Green.
Here.
Mr. Menser.
Yes. Here.
Mr. Brown, do we have a quorum?
We have a quorum.
Thank you, Mr. Brown. In front of everybody, if you don't have it in front of you, you should have received an email with the last meeting minutes from March 24th, 2026. Do we have any amendments or corrections to those minutes? Okay, hearing none, I will entertain a motion to approve the minutes from March 24th, 2026.
So moved. Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion on approving the minutes from March 24th, 2026? Okay, all in favor, please signify yes by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. All right, motion is passed. Moving on to old business, we've got an update on the recommendation to condemn parcels number 66-05506.000, parcel 66-03852.000, and parcel 66-03852.001 being the buildings north of 40 Public Square, or the former City Hall building. I guess I'm probably the most appropriate person to provide that update. So where we are on that, originally we did get the project out to bid and awarded, and then we discovered through a local contact that we needed to have permits from the State Department of Commerce to do that demolition, which was news to us because we haven't done any commercial demolitions before. So we did apply for those. It took about 30 days to get those permits. And then in that process, we also discovered that because we have brownfield grant funding, which is state-administered federal funds for the demolition, they are also subject to the Section 109, I believe it is, State Historic Preservation Review. So we're now moving forward with getting the State Historic Preservation Organization in the same room as the Knox County Historical Society and the City of Mount Vernon Historic Review Commission to develop a memorandum of understanding for the demolition of those structures because they are in a federally registered historic district. So tomorrow is the meeting for the Historic Review Commission, where we will present to them where we're at on this and what measures we've taken, and hopefully get some action from them, and then afterwards follow up to set up that meeting with the SHPO and the Knox Historical Society and the Historic Review Commission to decide what needs to be done. My sources have told me, sources being architectural historians who do this all the time in Ohio, that this process usually takes up to 6 months. Since we've already done a lot of work, we're hoping that it can go a little faster, but we shouldn't probably plan on having those buildings demolished before next year. So it'll likely be February or March before we'll actually have authorization to bring the buildings down. And yeah, that's pretty much where we're at on that. Any questions?
Is it difficult to make a banner so when people drive by they can say like completion March of 2027?
I'd rather not make promises I can't keep. I'm told that so actually what I should say is when I called SHPO to get a review for Section 106, I got an automated voicemail. They wouldn't get me to a real person, and they said, "We are understaffed currently. Your best way to get a hold of us is to send an email." And then it took about 3 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks, to get a response back via email before they would even acknowledge that I sent them an email to begin the review. So I'd hate to make any promises, even in March of next year.
So don't put anything out that you can't keep a promise on.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that. Personally, would not recommend that.
Thanks for the update.
Sure. Are there any questions from our administration over here? No? Okay. In that case, we will move on then to the recommendations to condemn. The first one we have before us is 106 East Lamartine Street. Mr. Marvin, would you give us an update on this, please? You should be able to use that microphone right there, yeah.
My name is Brian Marvin. My address is 236 South Main, Mount Vernon, Ohio. I affirm that my testimony is truthful to the best of my knowledge and ability, so help me God, or under penalty of perjury. Okay, so when last we met was March 2026. We had a meeting here regarding this property, and we moved for repair on this one. She was given 30 days for the mitigation process, and I believe 90 to begin the rehabilitation process. At that time, we had some concerns regarding insurance monies, the homeowner's ability to follow through, and various other concerns, so I have a lot of updates to give you as far as that. Mitigation is done. It was way behind schedule, and just to keep you guys fully appraised, at one point, payment wasn't rendered for the services by the homeowner to Servpro, the company doing the mitigation. But since that time, they've informed me they have been made whole on that. We've moved past mitigation. Then after mitigation, the homeowner, Ms. Fisher, fired Servpro for a period of time, which is when I put in the last packet saying, okay, we need to move forward with demolition. I'm telling you this only so you understand that there are still difficulties going on with this property. It appears that shortly after receiving my notice saying we're moving for demolition, she rehired Servpro, and I stayed in contact with them for a period of weeks, moving up towards this meeting, at which time they still had not received payment until about, it appears about a week ago. I was talking to the gentleman in charge now, a gentleman named Dustin, his last name escapes me, but he informs me that she had rendered payment for the windows and the doors that she wanted to have installed in the house, and that they have been upgraded. I had a conversation with the insurance company, State Farm, who has assured me that they have paid out the claim in its entirety, and basically they are removed from the process at this point. And Servpro tells me that she has provided them power of attorney to work with the mortgage company to make sure that things are paid going forward. All of that being said, I still have a lot of concerns, obviously, representing the city, about things that have happened in the past and statements made from her and from the other companies involved. So I guess where we're at right now is we have assurances from Servpro that they have access to the funds to do the job. They have been rehired, and are planning on starting work, I believe, as early as next week, doing the windows and the doors. So we have forward progress, and I think at this point our concerns are now, are we going to see completion on this project? And how much time do we need to give her to ensure things stay on track? So I guess other than, and Mr. Zimmerman may have something, but those are my concerns right now. I think we're on the right track. I'd like to see the house saved if it can be, but I also don't want this neighborhood to live with this situation indefinitely, to have a burned out hull of a home. And we need to make sure as a city, I guess, that things just track on and keep moving forward. So that.
Thank you, Mr. Marvin. So if I'm understanding correctly, the recommendation we have before us is for condemnation, but you're clarifying that with the progress that has been made, and that, are you officially switching your recommendation from demolition?
When I wrote the thing, I wanted it torn down, yes, but that was Servpro being fired and no view of a future. I'm saying now, yes. If we are on target, I would much rather see the house saved, and if we are on target to have that happen, then yes, it's my recommendation at this time that we go towards rehabbing the house, trying to save it rather than tear it down, but with really strict parameters to make sure this happens in a timely fashion.
Do you have a recommendation on a time period based on your experience with this situation?
So with primarily my concerns would lie with the homeowner, and if she has been non-compliant on other issues with the city in the past and has shown a lack of follow-through on this particular project in the past, I would say I would want to see some really strong progress in 30 days. I mean, minimally, I would say, or maximally, I'd say. I think if you give a longer leash, we're going to see more hesitation, more pause, more delays, and it's just part of the concern here too is how long does the neighborhood have to live with this? We've had issues with squatters in the residence. Windows are broken out. I mean, it's clear to me. I visit the property regularly, It's clear to me people have been going in and out other than the homeowner. And as far as one other aspect probably needs to be known too, is this lady is not known, the homeowner is not known to have a lot of affluence, as best I can tell. I don't know her finances, but based on previous activities. And since this process has started, for some reason she's installed a new chain link fence without a permit in her backyard. She's had a concrete sidewalk poured in her backyard without a permit, and she has an outstanding permit for a portable building that she's never paid for any of those things. And I'm a little perplexed as to why we're pouring concrete sidewalks and put new fences up on a house that's burned out. So I guess my concern there is, where is this money coming from? And I want to make sure I have concerns as to whether or not this money is coming from the money that was intended for the rehabilitation of the home. And based on all of these things in this past history, yes, I have a lot of concerns that if we don't keep things in a very tight framework, that it's going to get out of hand again. So I would say 30 days for me is kind of where I'm at. And if we don't see something really strong in 30, then maybe we have another hearing, we move towards tearing it down. But I'm going to defer to Scott. He's my boss on any final decisions on those things.
My name is Scott Zimmerman. My address is 236 South Main Street, Mount Vernon, Ohio. I affirm my testimony is truthful to the best of my knowledge and ability, so help me God, under penalty of perjury. Everything that Mr. Marvin said to you, I back up 100%. The only thing that I would add to that, Mr. Bourne, can we write an order to with this hearing with very strict guidelines on this and
Well, it depends
benchmarks?
on exactly, I mean, right now, I mean, it sounds like we're asking for a review in 30 days, so we're basically asking for another meeting
Yes.
in 30 days. And I think that that's really where the power comes in, is the ability to set another meeting in about 4 weeks
Okay.
and review the progress at that point.
And that's probably will be the end of it. It'll either be in the process of being rehabilitated or at the end of this next time. There'll be no more extensions, in my opinion, unless there's very, very extenuating circumstances. I believe that you all as a board, and myself and Mr. Marvin and our department have been more than accommodating to the best of our ability with this individual. I do have some reservations, but really those will be taken care of. It will be well on its way to being rehabbed in 30 days, or I will be very firm in demolition.
Can you share with us what you want to see in 30 days? A full rehab, or what?
No,
What's the
I said
steps?
well on its way. In my opinion, it should not be out of the ordinary to have all the windows, doors replaced and in place. The siding should be able to be either repaired or shown where it has been ordered to be delivered. And I would like to see most of the drywall back up inside the house. I don't believe 30 days is not realistic to the amount of damage. The fire chief took me in there the night of, and it was pretty extensive. So I want to see progress and consistency, and that's going to be an issue, I believe, with this individual. But if we set some tight parameters, maybe we can help guide her in that direction over the next 30 days. If that doesn't happen, like I said, then I think it's going to be we're going to go right back to where this was called for.
How's your communications been with this owner? Like, are you going to hand her, like, this 30 days from today, or when you
She will
present
get a
her with the plan?
registered letter. She's been receiving her mail. Her communications is pretty nil. She doesn't care for Mr. Marvin or myself, but that's neither here nor there. We will make sure she receives her documentation, and she's fully aware of the meeting today. She just chose to not show.
I can clarify for you, help put your mind at ease. When, in this particular case, I'm only required usually to send a certified. I hand deliver one, I mail one regular, and I provide one certified. I make every attempt to make sure she's fully aware. And I check with the mail service. She is receiving mail at the address and does still pick her mail up there. So,
The vague 30 days, can you give a specific date here?
That would be more for you guys to set. I mean, whatever you guys set for me, I'll go on guidelines and I'll make her aware of it. So you tell me when and I'll make her aware of that date. And, you know, and just to clarify with me, and I know we want to see progress, I don't know that we can mandate, but it would be, in my opinion, that if we meet again in 30 days, if there's another firing of ServPro or a non-payment or any of these obstructive behaviors at that point, that we take all of that into consideration in 30 days as to where we're going from there.
When you guys serve papers like that, is it 30 days or is it 30 business days?
30, for me, it's usually 30 working days. I mean, I usually set it for 30, but again, that's entirely up to whatever you guys set as an order out there.
So like, let's say 30 days, like September 11th, September 14th. Can I get a specific date from you?
For me,
Yes.
I would give her some grace period for a few weeks to maybe let this process go, and we're about mid-month, so if it was up to me, I would set a date for around September 30th. With a little grace period ending August.
I don't know if you have to call for a vote, but I think September 30th is generous.
Mr. Bourne, are there any restrictions on what days this board can meet?
I don't believe so. I mean, you'll call a special meeting. We
Correct.
have regular meetings on the 2nd? Is it the second Wednesday or the third Wednesday? I think it's the second Wednesday. And so if this board wants to schedule a meeting outside of that, it's a special meeting, and Mr. and Zach can set that, and, you know, we have to give about, technically, just several days' notice, but we can decide now when this group wants that to be.
When is the next board meeting officially for us?
It would be September.
Yeah, we don't actually have like, it's usually the second Wednesday, but if we don't have anything to put on the docket, then we usually don't schedule a meeting. So it would be,
The 8th.
yeah, normally it's the 8th.
September 30th is a Wednesday, so that's what I'm looking at.
Well, you could do it the 29th or the 30th, yeah, or the 9th is the Wednesday. And so you could do it the 30th, which is a Wednesday.
That's fine by us if you would agree to that.
Would you, gentlemen, take issue with just holding off on that until the next regularly scheduled meeting in October, which would be October 14th? So that would give us roughly 60 days from today.
I think that would just be more than gracious, and I don't have an issue with it, no, if you want to just keep your regular meeting.
Can you repeat that so we know?
The question was if they felt that there would be an issue instead of calling a special meeting, just meeting on our regularly scheduled meeting in October, which would be October 14th, Wednesday, October 14th.
Can we not give her the deadline till the 14th, so it gives these gentlemen a chance to prepare coming into the meeting? And so, let's say October 12th, the Monday, she has a deadline, and these guys will have a presentation for the board on the 14th.
Well, the board doesn't need to take any action with this particular deadlines, is that the board will just review it at its regularly scheduled meeting in October. And these gentlemen will decide exactly where she is on compliance, and they'll make a recommendation to the board at that time.
I'm going to be reaching out, and I'm sure with Mr. Marvin, with the property owner, we are going to try to get weekly updates from them. If not, we do have a contact with ServPro, and then we'll be able to have a timeline and some benchmarks hopefully met by then, and we should be able to have a fairly informative report by then.
Scott, do you need a motion from the board to, accept a motion or a motion on the board where this individual gets to the 14th to comply? Or
We don't need any.
what do we need to do?
We don't need formal board action at this point.
Okay.
We'll take formal board action in October.
Okay.
So, Mr. Bourne, even though it sounds like the deadline for rehabilitation has already passed, is that correct?
Yeah,
Okay, so we don't need to formally grant an extension. We just
No.
simply won't take action.
that's correct. Correct.
Okay, thank you.
I just want to make sure I put on the record, if these individuals come back mid-October
Oh, yeah.
without any substantial direction in which you believe is appropriate, we will take your recommendation and move forward with the bond. I'm red.
Okay, then, yeah, okay. You need to speak.
We just could.
Unfortunately.
That's because Cheryl's in the room. I don't want to hear me.
She makes everyone nervous.
Do you guys have any current photos right now?
I don't have any with me. I can get some provided to the board. I'll get them out to you, get sent via email if you want. I have some, so a couple weeks old maybe, of what's going on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
hasn't
There-
been anything done since whenever you had.
Yes, I was gonna say, other than the addition of a new fence in the back and a sidewalk added to the backyard, the house has not changed at all, at least externally. It's my understanding internally, the drywall and all the damaged goods have been removed. But externally, if anything, it's gotten worse. Some windows have been broken out. Like I said, there's signs of squatters. Someone keeps going in and opening the windows to the interior of the residence, so elements are getting in. So if anything, it's getting worse until we get these windows and doors replaced.
If I may, I do have a couple pictures that I took the other day because I had more complaints. She has got her entire yard, front yard, full of a mix of pollinators and noxious weeds, and is calling it an English tea garden. So that's another thing we're going to have to deal with. But if I may, I'll pull those up and I'll hand them to you.
We'll pass in some photos up here. Is that the same photos we've seen here, Scott?
I don't think so. Is it the ones I sent you about the pollinators?
I'm sorry, what was that again?
The pollinator, her front yard.
You can see her, you can see some
You can
of
see
those
it.
on these photos. That was going to be one of my questions. I did drive by that place today and didn't know if it was right to mention the yard
Yeah, here's.
today or not.
She does have a nice crop of hair still. Yeah. And I'll make sure we have copies of that and put in the file as well. I went by when we had some complaints about that and some concerns, so. And we are actively working with Bee City and everything, getting some guidelines for pollinators so it doesn't turn into that, because they're a nice thing to have, but within reason, yes.
Any other questions or comments from the board on 106 East Lamartine Street? And do we have any members of the public that wish to speak concerning 106 East Lamartine Street? Okay. We will move on to 92 Quarry Street. Mr. Marvin, would you please brief us on that one as well?
Certainly. 92 Quarry is a property that I encountered back in 2025, July 2025, just doing some routine checks. It's a vacant home, had a lot of weed growth and debris around the home. At that time, I sent out a notice to the owner, Knoxco Development, requesting that they address the debris, and there was some appliances on the back porch, and got zero action on it, no response and zero action. In January of 2026, I was called out by one of the neighbors who basically had enough. He said he's sick of the rodents, sick of all the debris and all the problems going on there. So took a closer look at that time. There was some snow on the ground. I could see ample animal tracks coming to and from the residence, in and out of the windows. Kind of took a look around from the neighbor's property. There was nothing had changed in the back of the property. None of the debris was cleaned up. Appliances were still there. Sent a second notice out in January to Knoxco, and after no response, we called him. I'm thinking here, what we call him? Okay, we received a call in late January, early February from Mr. Ellis, the owner of the property. I had a discussion with him at that time about the property, and there was some indications made that he was waiting for, I think, the land bank to step in and help him out with the demo. Time went on, we got to March, I still hadn't heard anything, and we reached back out once again to Mr. Ellis, and again, he indicated that he was waiting for the land bank to step in and demo the property. At that time, I decided the neighbors should not have to tolerate, our citizens should not have to live with these animal-ridden vacant homes in their neighborhood. I wouldn't want to live within one next to one. I know none of you do. So I just decided at that point enough is enough. No one's obviously going to take ownership of this property, and I've submitted the condemnation order. The owner, and during one of the conversations I had with him early on, told me that there had been a flood in the basement of the property which saturated the wood, and there's a mold issue. He himself told me the property is non-salvageable and needs to be destroyed as no one can live in it anymore. So at this point, I'm suggesting we take it down for him or make him take it down if they're not willing to do it on their own.
Thank you.
Mayor came on. I agree with Mr. Marvin's testimony, and also would like to receive the condemnation order today on this property for demo. It is not salvageable.
And with how many days to complete the demolition?
That's up to Mr. What are the orders usually, right, Mr. Bourne?
We've done 90, most recently.
We've done 90 and up to 180 days. That would be something that I believe you guys need to entertain on the order on that. To me, the 180 would be the max I would offer, but that would also give them enough time, I guess, to get into next year.
If I may, there has been some requests that we wait until next year. I try to view things from the viewpoint of the people that live next to the property. I know the property owner wants to have till next year, I think, for some grants or something to come through from the land bank. My view is this is a gentleman who runs a company that demos. One of the things they do is demo homes. He's had the wherewithal. He has the financial resources to do it. He has the equipment, and he has the employees who have done this by himself months ago, but it has not happened. So I would like to see as quick as possible a demo to get this thing off the blade, get this thing out of the neighborhood, so that these neighborhoods don't have to look at this anymore, these neighbors. But of course, it's up to you. That's just my point of view. I know we give 180 days in cases, I think, when maybe there are more limited resources financially, et cetera, to take a house down. But in this case, finances shouldn't be an issue as the company itself, the owner himself, demos homes.
Mr. Marvin and Mr. Zimmerman, have either of you received any written communication from the land bank with regard to this property and potentially assisting with the demolition?
I have not received anything, no.
I personally have not received anything.
Thank you.
If I may, sir, I have put that onus on Mr. Ellis, Knoxco Development. I've asked him several times to get a hold of them and make something happen, and he's assured me he would call me back during our conversations and give me some progress report, and there has been none. So,
Does the homeowner know his property is coming before the board today for condemnation?
yes, he was sent notice, certified mail.
And he's not present here in the room.
Not to my knowledge.
I do know that he did receive it because he did reach out in an email, so he is aware.
I agree 100% that the residents that live next door, I visited this property today, and 180 days is way too long. You have the equipment to do this. 90, and I'm more prone to 60, but I wasn't very good on a time frame when the building's behind the public square either. So, so I would make a motion for recommendation for condemnation for demolition for 90 days.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to to condemn this building for demolition within 90 days. Is there any discussion on that motion?
What happens if you don't comply with 90 days? Is it a fine or what happens?
City has the opportunity to then come in and demolish the building, and the owner will be assessed whatever cost the city has to do that. If they do not pay it as ordered, then we will seek to attach it to the property taxes, which would then eventually be paid to the city whenever the property changes hands.
I feel if the land bank needs to act, 90 days is plenty of time for the land bank to come forth with anything if needed be.
We should have 3 meetings within the next 90 days. Well, at least 2 meetings within the next 90 days. So.
Yeah.
Can you repeat your motion again? And there was a second, so are we doing 90 days or 60 days?
The motion on the floor is to condemn the structure at 92 Quarry Street for demolition with 90 days. If there's no further comment on that or discussion, Mr. Sherman, would you please call the roll?
Mr. Platt,
Yes.
Mr. Christopher,
Yes.
Ms. Delozier, Mr. Green,
Yes.
Mr. Menser.
Yes.
Okay, the motion is passed. And now we'll move on to the public portion of the meeting. Is there anybody here who wishes to speak in front of the board on public matters? Okay. In that case, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
I have a question. Since our last meeting, do we need to vote for a new president of this board? Do we need to vote for a new president of this board?
The chair of the board is set by statute as the city engineer, and Mr. Platt is currently the acting or interim city engineer, and he would take that by operation of law.
Thank you, Mr. Menser.
On motion to adjourn.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And meeting is adjourned. Thank you.